in our last video, we looked at the sutra Idu Tao Chasaptamyarte, Idu Tao Chasaptamyarte, that gave the Dirga I and Dirga U, which were used in place of normal sup terminations to denote Saptami, the seventh case in the Veda. He gave them both the name Pragrihya, so that there would be no Sandhi. And for example, we saw that if you took Tanu instead of plus E, Tanu plus Dirga U as a Saptami ending, yielding Tanu, then that was Pragrihya, whereas the non-Vedic form, Tanvam, would not be Pragrihya. Similarly, Gauri, when you had Gauri as a Saptami form instead of Gauryam, Gauri is Pragrihya. Now, part of what makes this sutra so interesting to me is everything that it says that only becomes clear when you look essentially behind the scenes or below the surface. To do that, we'll look at the sutra that gives permission or acknowledges these substitutions for sup, which is 7.139. Supam suluk purva savarna che yardar dhyaya jalaha. Supam suluk purva savarna che yardar dhyaya jalaha. Now, in place of sup can come the following 11 categories of substitutes. The first is su or s for us. Then luk, elision. Then the third one is the one that applied to Idu Tao Chasaptamyarte, substitution of a single dirgha savarna for the final ach of the stem. And in Idu Tao Chasaptamyarte, that would be the dirgha I and dirgha U. Now, that third category that I just said doesn't specify Saptami, but our Pragrihya Sutra does, and that makes all the difference, as we'll see. Then after that, there's substitute At, She, who's our old friend, Idu Tau Chasaptamyarte, and then Idu Te Dvivachanam Pragrhyam, Adasomat, She. So there's our friend She again. Ya, da, dya, yach, ul. So we've already reviewed the form Tanu instead of Tanvam, and Gauri instead of Gauryam, and we know that those are Pragrihya. But fun part is there's things that look the same, are almost the same, but are not Pragrihya, and Idu Tau Chasaptamyarte pushes them aside. So we can only know that by looking at this. So if you take Agni, and instead of D, you have which was number 4 in our group above, and you have a Saptami as Agna, although it comes under the same 7.139 sutra, and it's a substitute which is is coming in place of Saptami. The result, Agna, is not Pragrihya, only It and Ut. So that's one, fine point, but kind of fine points are what are special about what we're doing. Then also Mati plus which would be the normal. If you have Mati plus E yielding Mati with a Dirgha E, it looks kind of similar. But in this case, you have an E which is coming, you have a Hrasva E which is coming in place of and is yielding a Dirgha E, but in the meaning of the third case, or the instrumental. So that is not Pragrihya either, even though that also, it looks similar. It's a Dirgha E, but it's coming from a different place. And finally, as you know, I always like arte kim. Why arte? Why is it saptamyarte? Well, there is a reason for that. That's because in the formation of compounds, the sup endings are dropped, and you're left with the stem. So if you are going to make a compound of Gauri in the seventh, which would be Gauriyam, and Ashva, you would drop the ending, and that would be Gauri. So you would have an E that had the meaning of Saptami, but it's not because the E itself got the meaning of Saptami. It's because the sup that was there was dropped in forming the compound, and the E standing alone has no seventh meaning. It does not give it a meaning in Vapi. It's only there because of the dropping of the sup. So in this case, there is no pragrihya, and the compound is vapyashvaha. Vapyashvaha. So that sort of rounds out our look at Idu Taucha Saptamyarte. It and Ut are singled out from a number of forms in which sup is replaced, and they are the two that yield pragrihya by this sutra. However, we do see that She sneaks in under a different sutra. So that's it.